Hi friends! Not snapping today. I am doing a little bit better. If you have no idea what this is, take a look at that last video that's in the iCard called I Lost a Cat Fight. I go into details there, but I'm doing better enough to actually click through a visual novel of the game. So, yay! Good news. In the meantime, welcome back to Fatal 12. This is part 7. So, where we left off, Rinka had finally gotten into the game because of Naomi. Naomi basically gave her a reason to try. And then, I think it's number 6, or not number 6, number 8? One of the contestants, Keiko, forgive me on any of these names. I apologize. I'm just happy to be here. And while you're happy to be here with me, subscribe so we can be here more together. So, what really is kind of going on with her? Why is she in the hospital? Something about childbirth. So, Rinka and Naomi were doing a deep dive on that. That's where we left off. Let's keep going. Woo! We try to discuss other possibilities regarding her death after that, but basically turns into a study session about pregnancy. Horrifying. Pregnancy is absolutely horrifying. After walking Naomi to the train station, I make my way back to Lion House. And that is fine. I have to admit, I am surprised by just how fruitful our efforts today have been. It goes to show how little I've been thinking about divine selection before talking to Naomi about it. It's gotten me to question my own life. I still can't say for sure whether or not it's right for me to want to live. However, I can say with certainty that I don't want to leave my friends and family upset over my death. That's enough motivation for now. I'm sure Keiko has the same resolve pushing her forward. In fact, hers is probably stronger considering she has a child. I was told I lost my parents in an accident almost immediately after I was born, so I'm not too sure what it's like to experience the warmth and love parents could provide. Oh. The only thing I have to go on is when my grand spoke to me about my mom. Her expression showed an entirely different kind of love from that she holds for her granddaughter. Oh. Okay, enough thinking for one day. The more I consider Keiko and her situation, the more empathy I feel for her, which makes me think of her even more. What I should be doing right now is casting my emotions aside and gathering as much information on her as possible. Even Naomi is pushing herself to do what she can for my sake. The last thing I want is to let that go to waste. My priority right now should be to get some rest. Thus I crawl into bed and close my eyes. Oh? Hey! After school, Naomi and I come back to Lion House together again. Oh my god, Maharu must be having a fit, because Naomi's coming over every day. And that's all she wants to do! Come on, guys! Get your Yuri together. Ow! I'm sorry. Hold my hand like this instead. Keiko never has approached me again after that one night. Keiko? I'm gonna say Keiko. It's easier because Inuyasha. Don't judge me! She probably realized that I now know her name. Right. I assume she's aware of potential risk in approaching you again, thanks to that too. Let's do this. After I ensure that my book is in my bag, I guide Naomi to the hospital. By the time we reached the lounge, I realized that I never did ask Naomi how she plans on approaching Kikyo's family. Even without me there, it doesn't change the fact that she's just a random high schooler to them. I highly doubt they'll be willing to share private information with a stranger like that. Fortunately, the lounge is the same floor as Kikyo's room, so I'll be able to hear Naomi scream should anything go wrong while I wait. She isn't quite as clumsy and shy in front of me anymore. This is Naomi we're talking about. I can't help but worry about her. I know that she said she'd do her best for my sake, so I'll trust in her. I mean, okay. After some time has passed, a man in his late 30s passes by me. I assume it's Kikyo's husband and try to avoid eye contact. I move my gaze to look outside the window, waiting for his footsteps to fade. Rinka? He startled me. Being approached from behind like that causes me to yelp, but no one seems to pay me much mind. Naomi's voice seems somewhat gloomy. Welcome back. How'd it go? My heart's about to explode for one. As for actual information, most of what I learned will only help us to narrow down the possible causes. So you didn't learn anything specific? Right, it seems like she's always had a frail disposition, but no particular diseases to speak of. However, she'd been entering preterm labor on a consistent basis, which eventually led to premature birth via emergency C-section. Oh wait. Boop. Okay. The child had to be admitted afterwards, so both of them have been in the hospital for close to 3 weeks now. That overlaps with the timing of divine selection. The books we were reading yesterday mentioned preterm labor and premature birth. Premature birth is when the baby is born before the expected date, and preterm labor is when you enter the first stages of labor earlier than you should. The mother suffers from constant pain and bleeding during this, so she has to be kept as idle and relaxed as possible. I guess things took a turn for the worse, which led to her needing a C-section. How'd you manage to get that much out of them in the first place? I told them a little white lie. Her tone is more hushed than usual. It's probably why she seemed a bit gloomy afterwards. I told them I noticed her whenever I come here to visit my friend, who's also hospitalized. I said I was worried about her and it felt it would be rude to ask her about her situation directly. I also said I would bring her some flowers soon. That eventually led to them telling me what I just told you. Naomi. She looks like she's ready to cry. She pried information from Kikyo's family for the express purpose of eliminating her. Yeah, but on the flip side, Kikyo's family will not remember. She'll have just died in childbirth, and she won't remember. So I guess, in one way, that's okay? I don't know. There's so many moral quandaries about this, especially with the time travel element of, like, everything you do is undone. Knowing how kind the person is, there's no doubt she's beating herself up over it. All I can do is grit my teeth. She did this for my sake, so I can't give her some half-hearted consolation. Figuring it'd be too risky to discuss things further here, we make our way back to Lionhouse. Oh. We dive right into discussing her cause of death upon our return. I wouldn't call it a bright conversation. Okay, I'm just thinking through, and again, this is my brain spinning off just a theory. A game theory. If the man who walked by, and it was a very pronounced moment, if the man who walked by was Kikyo's husband, wouldn't she have tried to tell the husband to get his help with this, and told him about Rinka and what she looks like? She's fairly distinctive. And if so, wouldn't he have, like, walked outside and then followed them to Lionhouse. That's what I would assume would happen here. Is like, it's... Because, as you could tell, like, Naomi can help Rinka. So why can't the husband help the wife? Okay. Anyways, my thoughts. I wouldn't call it a bright conversation. Hardly surprising, but both of us made sure not to comment on it. I read yesterday that premature birth and C-sections place a significant strain on the mother as well. She might not have had any notable diseases, but she still had a frail disposition. Put two and two together, and blood loss seems most likely. The book doesn't react. Can't tell if it's because I'm wrong or if it's because I'm not going through the proper process with the correct information. I was pretty confident in that conclusion after discussing things with Naomi too. No reaction. Does that mean we're wrong then? I'm fairly certain her family would have beaten around about the bush if she had a specific condition though. The fact that they didn't mean she really doesn't. Grab some books. We checked out the library to make sure we haven't missed something. Naomi does the same. I end up coming across something relevant quicker than expected. This might be it. Point to a page detailing one of the leading causes of death during childbirth. A brain hemorrhage. Oh man. It's described as being caused by an artery in the brain bursting, which leads to internal bleeding in the surrounding areas. Meaning your brain. Not only does it impact your senses and conscious, but it can lead to death should a tumor become big enough to put significant stress on the brainstem. Ooh. The reason this can kill you is that the brainstem regulates the central nervous system, making it one of the most vital parts of your body. Yep. Nervous system does a lot. Most cases of death during childbirth can typically be traced back to this. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Oh? It started shining. Wait, really? I can't see anything. My book starts to shine almost immediately after I come across the information. Naomi doesn't seem to be able to see it, so I explain what it does when you successfully turn information into a card. The light congregates once again and gives birth to a new card. I didn't see what you did there, but why? We just talked about brain hemorrhage. Oh, there it is. I guess you can see the card itself and what's written on it, though. Just like the others I possess. I assume it's got something to do with the fact that giving them physical form means their existence becomes reality. Which means that book needs to be secured safely away. I place the card on the table so she can read it. Written on it is number 8. Number 8's cause of death. Brain hemorrhage. This is it, huh? This killed her. She gave birth to her child only to die of a brain hemorrhage. The fact that her child's in the hospital means that its birth wasn't undone at the beginning of the Divine's selection. In that case, it might be safe to assume that Keiko didn't die during the process, but sometime after. I can't say I feel pleased over having made some progress in all honesty. I'd actually say I feel worse now, having learned the circumstances behind her death. Yeah. Oh goodness, I just put two and two together. That if Rinka does eliminate Keiko in the next round, then she'll have to relive Kikyo's last moments, from what Odette said, which would be horrific. I would not want to do that. Oh god. Naomi likely feels the same way. I don't think there's any other way to explain the complex facial expression she's making right now. That's complex. You guys are very nuanced. I have to be the one to break this awkward silence. We should find out her regret while we're at it. I noticed that I've stopped referring to her by name. The worst thing I can do is let myself feel attachment to her, and know for a fact that I'll regret things later down the line if I do. This is what happens when you learn the circumstances behind someone's death. Well, there's no arguing that it's related to her child, at least. Is she worried about its future? The book doesn't react. Playing the guessing game won't get us anywhere. I agree. We should make our way back to the hospital. What? You're going back tonight? Oh, Saturday. Oh, goodness. That leapt ahead. Somehow, we make it all the way over there without considering the notion that there's no way they'll let strangers in to see the newborns. Neither of us are too surprised, though. Sorry, part of me realized this would happen, but we might need to go about this another way. But you said the next round is tomorrow night, isn't it? If we miss our opportunity, then it's likely that both her and the other participants will be working even harder to find out more information. We should do as much as we can now. I know you're right, but I get where she's coming from. None of the other participants have approached me so far, so right now, I'm best off focusing on her, both in terms of efficiency and to prevent my own information from being dug up. It's 7 p.m., so visiting hours will end in an hour. We won't be able to stick around much longer. I honestly have no idea what else we could try. I'll speak with her personally. She may suspect me, but I'll do what I can to pass myself off as someone else. She tells me to wait here as she gets up, ready to run off. Try to stop her, but all I could do is cause her to trip over her own feet. Oof. Sorry. Fortunately, the fall brings her back to her senses. Tend to act impulsively, and it looks like Naomi's the same way. In fact, she might be even worse than me. Especially when you consider how quickly she made her decisions, both in regards to helping me out and learning how to brew coffee. You two do realize you're in a hospital, don't you? I feel a chill run down my spine the moment I hear that voice. I am kneeling down to give Naomi a hand, so I stare upward and into her face. You're Rinka Keiko, the very person who we've spent the past few days investigating as much as possible. Why is she even here in the first place? We made sure to discuss things on a different floor from the one her room's on. This works for me, though. I was in the middle of looking for you, Rinka. The tone in her voice is chilling, but her saying my full name out loud makes it ice cold. I step forward in an attempt to keep Naomi from her line of sight, but there's no way she hasn't noticed her. Little friend seems to have had a lovely discussion with my husband. It might be nice having someone to cooperate with you. Oh, okay, so the husband isn't... Can't find an appropriate response. Much like our first meeting, I risk putting myself in danger if I say anything without thinking first. There's no need to panic, Rinka. Just want to discuss things with you. Discuss things? There's no doubt the discussion will be regarding divine selection. A few moments later, I nod my head. You can't. You may leave. I am only interested in Rinka. Don't worry. If she just wants to talk, then that's fine. I nod reassuringly at Naomi, who looks worried, sick over the situation. Even so, be careful. I already said there's no need to panic. I'm not here to hurt her. I just want to talk. How about we go to the lounge upstairs? It should be rather quiet this time. And I'd be much rather not discuss things in my room where other patients are around. As for your little friend, she could wait right here. I'd hate for her to try and eavesdrop. I follow her after that, leaving Naomi, who looks as worried as ever behind. This is danger. This is big danger. Big danger time, Rinka. Once we reach the lounge, she directs me to take a seat and walks off. She returns shortly after, a can of coffee and a bottle of water in her hands. Here, take it. I accept the coffee, unable to hide my surprise. There must have been a vending machine close by, but should I really take this when she's technically an enemy? I mean, if it's closed and sealed, it's not like she poisoned it, and even then you can't die, so... meh. I guess you could be tortured. That's very dark. Don't go there, Dainty. Don't worry, it isn't poisoned. We might be in a pretty unbelievable situation right now, but that doesn't change the fact that those kinds of substances are rather difficult to come by. Not so much. It's actually kind of easy. That's not what I... Relax, I understand. I was rather frantic during our first meeting. I must have frightened you. Hearing that admission from her, I take a sip of coffee. Quite the gutsy one, aren't you? I figured you were working part-time at that cafe, but you actually live there, don't you? On the second floor, I believe. I don't answer. Nor do I question how she knows. It's an easy conclusion to come to when you know both my name and Lionhouse. Was coffee the right choice, by the way? I figured you'd like it. All things considered. By NPR. I do. Still, I can't bring myself to thank her for it. She seems to have expected as much, since she gives me a slight grin before taking a drink of her water. First of all, allow me to apologize. I was in a panic back then because I only knew your name. Not to mention the fact that that man in the dream world got a hold of mine while I could do nothing but sit in this hospital. Are you not doing well? Is that your slight attempt to learn my cause of death? She stares me right in the eye. It's clear to me that there are several more layers to her than when she's calm. This is what an adult looks like. Okay. Well, it's likely that you've already learned it by now. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so focused on my regret, considering that's the hardest piece of info for any of us to get our hands on. Were you listening the whole time? Oh, and here I was thinking you noticed me doing so at some point. Really should have... We really should have gone back to Lionhouse first. Just because there weren't plenty of people here during visiting hours doesn't guarantee that we wouldn't have been caught. Yeah. Either way, I'm not here to try and scare you, so let's drop that topic. My main intention is to propose that we both stop digging up info on one another. What's that supposed to mean? Exactly how it sounds. You give up on your little information hunt, and I give up on mine. In other words, a ceasefire of sorts. Like you said, I know both your name and your cause of death. Rinka, that's showing your hand. Yes, and I happen to know the exact same details regarding you. So we're currently on an even playing field. That makes my proposal all the more appealing, no? Wait, you know my cause of death? My surprise spills out when she reveals her hand. When exactly did she find that out? I never got the impression that she was doing any digging into my life. I even tried looking up why the fire broke out on the train, but the event itself has been undone. In that case, she either had that card from the beginning, or she heard my discussion with Naomi at the park. Still, I made sure to check that there wasn't anyone close enough to overhear us when we were there. Obviously, you're very bad at understanding how to, judge if people are listening to you. Because she overheard you before, why wouldn't she overhear you again? Wiretapping, maybe? No, that technology is about as hard for anyone in her situation to get her hands on as the poison she joked about earlier. The wind's pretty strong at the park, so you'd need high-tech stuff to counteract all that interference as well. That leaves the former then. I still find it hard to believe that she'd just conveniently end up with 2 of my cards out of the total 36. Don't forget that I can easily spread your info amongst the other participants, or even use it as a bargaining tool. That goes for the man who knows my name too. She really is worried about number 12, huh? Not that I blame her. He's the type of person you'd encounter normally. Meanwhile, she looks more confident than ever. But something feels off. That's all I can think as I stare at her. Are you telling me the truth? Is there any reason for me to lie in a situation like this? Yeah, yeah, there is. Yeah, it's literally a scare tactic. If you're that concerned, I can show you my cards if you like. Of course, you need to show me yours in exchange. Trust is of essence here, so I need you to... Sorry, I refuse. Ooh. Huh? I say it out loud and clear. Not just to settle my own nerves, but to make sure I establish some leverage of my own. You asked for my cause of death when we first met, so it's safe to assume that your starting cards didn't include that info. And I find it hard to believe that you could figure it out between then and now. Not to mention that I'm still fuzzy on the details of my own death. Even if she did manage to listen in on our conversation with Naomi, there was too many unknown factors for her to get a card out of just that. Facts. Plus, I guess she did come to Lion House after the conversation had already been done, and she did ask for cause of death. I got a hold of it through the channels you're not aware of. Through what channels? What sort of channels? Oh, just talk it up to an adult's resourcefulness. I detect a slight hint of panic in her tone. It's enough to convince me. It also serves to kill any sense of sympathy I've been holding for her. You sit there and talk about trusting each other while you're blatantly lying to my face. I'm not, I swear, I know how you died. Stand up and look down at her. Her eyes blast wide open as she stares back up at me. It was suicide. Wait, no, an accident. Sorry, we're done here. I would have considered your proposal had you been telling the truth. But you just had to go and lie. Ooh, she is very like, I am not holding anything. Just, you lied to me so you die. Oh my goodness, Rinka. I'm not kidding. Her attempt to gain my trust, despite lying to me, has drained every ounce of sympathy I have had for her. I no longer care about the things I've imagined about her life after learning how she died. Wait, please don't go. Her voice is so full of angst as she tries to stop me. I don't even bother to respond, opting instead to make my way directly back to Naomi. I want to live. I want to make it through this. I even tried lying to a kid, and yet at this rate, our ages are irrelevant. They're not a kid. She finally irritates me enough to prompt me to shout at her. At the same time, I feel my eyes starting to burn for some reason. This is goodbye. I stopped not too far from where we are standing. Oh, I'm supposed to be done with her, and yet I can't help but worry. Doesn't take long for me to realize why. Exasperated claim about wanting to live was, without doubt, the truth. That really was risky. I was pretty close to agreeing with her proposal. But our ages are irrelevant. I guess I'm just weak towards people who are pouring their heart out. After taking a moment to gather myself, I go back to where Naomi has been waiting. Hoo-hoo! Naomi? She isn't there when I get back. I decide to wait, figuring she'll be back soon. Little do I expect the decision to lead to the most horrifying situation I've been in yet. Whoa! Okay, this is exciting. What? Oh no. No. I recognize you. My entire body freezes up the moment I see him. Tall, dark-skinned, and positively ripped. You can almost see his muscles trying to break out of his clothes. Oh god. He's one of the few people you could describe as being built like a tank. A dainty tank? With no expression. Exaggeration. I got words. But even more terrifying than his ability are those stone cold eyes. I've seen him twice before in the dream world, but seeing him here in the real world drills home just how irregular a man like this is. Number 12. The man responsible for Divine Selection's first elimination, and the man in possession of number 8's name card. He'll be my target later down the line, but for now, I have no business with you. He passes right by me, heading in the direction from which I came. Phew! Just being in his presence made me feel like I was drowning. Must have been taking fewer breaths than normal or something. The realization that I'll need to gather information on him almost makes me want to give up right now. Right here and now. No, don't give up. He is terrifying, yes, but... Oh, sorry, my mom called, so What's wrong? Oh my god, Naomi. Naomi just happens to return right as he leaves. I'm so glad we came here together. Just hearing her voice helps me realize that I can't just roll over. I give her a quick rundown of what happened. In the lobby, you guys are the worst with information. If he doesn't have any business with you, then that must mean he has her name card, so he must be aiming for her. Wait here, I'll follow him. Naomi stops me as I try to go. Why would you follow him? You've got no reason to. You're right, but I can't help but remember her pained expression, her desperate voice. I can't sit here and do nothing. Stay put. If anything happens, I'll be in touch. Be ready to contact the police. Rinka. She lets go, almost as if she lost all the strength in her arm. I sprint away before she can say anything else to stop me. This is gonna be intense. Woohoo! So, this is intense music. It just kind of popped up out of nowhere. And don't mind me, I did step away for a hot second. It takes a few minutes to get her out of her room. Rather, it takes a few minutes to try and convince the nurse, considering visiting hours are over. She eventually comes out of her own volition after hearing me shout. You're safe. Why did you come back? Her expression is completely devoid of life. I'm the one responsible for that too. Did you change your mind? She asked with the obvious doubt in her voice. I can't give her an immediate reply. The man's definitely aiming for her, so I find it hard to believe that I beat him here. And he's got his book on him as well, considering he was able to speak to me. I doubt he could read the signs here without it. In that case, how did I get here without even passing by him? Wait, don't tell me. Wait a minute, what are you doing? I grab her by the hand and try to drag her along, which obviously takes her by surprise. Your child's in danger. She resists at first, but that stops the moment she hears me say that. Number 12 is right here inside this hospital. He is? Don't tell me he plans on taking my baby hostage. Finding out that she's given birth recently isn't a particularly difficult task. And it goes without saying that the 3-week-old baby has no means to defend itself. They may not be letting strangers in to see the newborns, but he's the type of man who seems able to get around an issue like that with ease. Why are you even this is intense. I don't know him personally, but I do know the fear inspired by those eyes. Please, don't. She keeps mumbling as I lead her to the nursery. What I witnessed upon our arrival is far more disastrous than expected. The lights in the hallway leading to the nursery are off and all of the emergency lights have been shattered. A faint light coming from the room beyond tells us all we need to know about the situation. What the hell happened here? Having shot ahead of me, she is the first to raise her voice. It doesn't take long for me to understand why. I see a number of nurses sprawled out on the floor. He beat up nurses? No. I lay my ear close to their mouths and confirm that they're still breathing. I expected the worst, but it seems like they're all alive. However, an even worse scenario soon it presents itself before me. Naomi. For some reason, Naomi is among the unconscious nurses. I'm sorry. She's obviously struggling to speak, but she does so nonetheless. Knows her glasses laying not far from her body. The lens is cracked. I figured he was aiming for the baby, so I tried to stop him. That baby's done nothing to deserve this. You idiot. Ugh. She runs straight toward the room from which the light emanates, and ignoring my calls for her to stop. Rinka, get away from here. I'm sorry, Naomi. Rest here a little bit longer, okay? I grit my teeth and give chase. Hey, what are you doing? Voice roars out of it as I reach the nursery. The babies all start to cry, likely because her shouting has woken them up. How did the punching out nurses not waken them up? A number of nurses lie unconscious here as well. The fact that the babies only now wake up means he somehow made it this far by being swift and silent. The mere fact that he is capable of such a thing is utterly insane. Silence. Male 12. But he's got such great boob pects. Like, look at those boob pects. He directs a quiet but threatening order toward the babies. As if that'd work on them, though. How in the... I'm just as shocked as she is. His command somehow manages to silence every tiny voice at once. What? That works? I feel my legs get glued to the ground in the presence of such a monster. My entire body starts to shudder. Why did I come here in the first place? Yeah, Rinka! Why? Why are you here with her? She's here to sniff out info on me as well, so she probably figured she could use the situation to her advantage. Huh? Figures, you heard me earlier. I have no business with you at the moment. I'm aware of how notable this country's security net measures are, so I prefer to wrap this up quickly. His tone is low, but steady. The fact that he can maintain such poise in a situation like this is unsettling. Is this poise? It's just... Yes, let me flex my pecs. Why did you come here? I know your name, so learning your location and why you're here was a minor task. Let's forget about that now. You're aware of what I mean when I say, I want to do this quick, aren't you? I'm not, but right now, I need you to step away from the children. That only proves that you know exactly what I plan on doing, but fine. Allow me to spell it out for you. Your name is Kemabuchi, if I recall. Therefore, this is the bed I'm looking for. He locates her baby right away. The baby's name is written on the bed. I see its face from where I stand, but I can read its name. Haruki. I assume it's a boy then. Surrender your cause of death and your regret. Otherwise, I'll see to it that this baby dies tonight. What? He says his intent to kill her newborn son without the slightest trace of hesitation. I feel the color fade from my face. Taking hostages isn't a pleasant situation in the first place, but how can he talk about killing a baby like that? She probably expected this too. Even so, there's no way she can remain calm having heard that. No one could when someone's family is threatened. You're wasting your time. I interrupt her before she can say anything. This is it. I need to muster up all my courage and knowledge so I could try to negotiate with them. Anything to get through this situation. Security should be here any moment. Even you wouldn't be able to escape so easily then. And once you're caught, you won't be able to do anything for the remainder of divine selection. Let them come. I'll simply escape with her child. Dealing with a few people on the way is easy enough. It may complicate things afterwards, but that doesn't change the fact that I will come to possess Kikyo Kambuchi's information. He answers right away and continues his threat. You have 30 seconds. I'll kill the child in the bed next to yours if you haven't answered by then, followed by another child 30 seconds after that. If you still haven't answered, then yours will be next. They have nothing to do with this. Keep calm. If you don't, he'll add your own info into a part of the deal. She whispers this just quietly enough so that he can't hear. Keiko, you have number one's information, don't you? That's why she doesn't want you to be eliminated. That's nuts. I deny his claim on instinct, but she really does know my name. Realizing this only now proves how foolish I am. But even if you do kill them, that'll be undone if you're eliminated, so that's enough! Fine, I'll tell you my cause of death and regret. Get on with it. He remains completely devoid of emotion. Keiko, I'm planning to see that you both have information on one another. Ugh. That statement prevents me from saying another word. I can't spill any more crucial information. Thanks for going this far, for my sake. But you're right that my child's death would be undone if anyone other than him makes it all the way to the end. Regardless, what kind of a mother would willingly expose her child to such danger? Get on with it already. I have just one condition. Step away from the bed and swap positions with us. Very well. He moves over to the entrance. We make our way to the bed. We can shield the babies like this, sure, but it also gives him an easier escape route. Oh, there it is. I died from blood loss. Brain hemorrhage, to be specific. Chances of a woman dying during childbirth here in Japan is almost non-existent in modern times, so I must have been ridiculously unlucky. Don't waste my time with such useless drivel. But she's telling you. He takes his book out and waits for her to continue. I had a frail disposition from the get-go, so I guess it was just a case of my body not being able to take the strain. Your regret. He rushed her along after confirming that he's obtained a new card. The baby's name. Her answer takes me by surprise. She's already named it, so how can that be her regret? If I'm eliminated, then everything I've done during this time would be undone. I'm the one who named him Haruki. My mother-in-law didn't like the sound of the name though. She was more concerned with that over the meaning behind it. So I sincerely felt that the name she proposed instead was lazy. She cuts herself off for a brief moment. Her expression doesn't change in the slightest. His gaze is clearly telling her to get on with it. Guess he doesn't have enough information to believe her just yet. My husband was in favor of the name she'd come up with. I talked things over with him, though, after Haruki was born. The fact that I was riding the line between life and death while giving birth probably prompted me to do so. Well, I guess all mothers would do the same thing either way. In the end, he was willing to listen and eventually agreed with me after hearing why I wanted to name my child Haruki. Following that, I filled out the birth certificate with the name I decided on. Your name almost represents your life, isn't it? Your life itself, doesn't it? That's why I hold the name of my first child in as high regard as my own life. Her delivery is more than enough to convince me that she means it. The words weigh heavily on me too. One regret and one's future are inevitably intertwined. It's the moment I get to learn the future that Keiko wants to see. I want more than one child, but it looks like Haruki will be my first and last. I suppose he won't be named Haruki once I am eliminated. So you are telling the truth. That's it? That's all you're gonna say to her? My only concern is obtaining the cards I need. All I feel after hearing her story is my joy from having obtained them. My fear is replaced with sheer rage. His trampling all over her life for his own sake. Saying I feel nothing may not be the whole truth, but remember this. No matter what you say or think about me, each and every one of us caught up in this little game may stamp down the lives of others for our own survival. That said, I like the determination in your eyes. They tell a story that mere words cannot express. A certain contradiction resides within you. You're likely aware of it too. What are you talking about? The sound of footsteps rings out from the hallway the moment I ask. While not quite as prominent, I can also hear voices. Time's up. Wait. No. As he declines, he smashes a nearby switch. Oh my god. The lights turn off, blanketing the area in pure darkness because the hallway lights are also out of commission because he destroys everything. I rush to get the lights back on as quick as possible. He's long gone by the time I manage to do so. Rinka, are you okay? Naomi limps her way into the room. I don't know how he did it, but he seems to have knocked everyone unconscious without injuring them. She holds her broken glasses in one hand. I'm so sorry, Naomi. It's my fault you got caught up in something like this. Please don't apologize. I'm the one who chased after him. Hey. Keiko interrupts our conversation. Security will be here once they've finished checking all of the nurses outside. Use this opportunity to get out here. I'll think up a way to explain this to them. But, besides, I'd like to spend a little more time with Haruki. Let's go, Naomi. She answers with a quick nod. Security makes their way to the nursery soon after, but we make sure to leave the hospital right away. Okay. Bye. That was really sad. Yeah, we're gonna pause there. This was good. The guy is so frustrating. Don't like any of that. That's so bad. I have feelings and frustrations. Okay. Well, with that, I hope that you're enjoying this. Let me know your thoughts down below. And with that, I love you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye!